Their early football commitments have come from Texas, but that doesn't mean the Oklahoma State Cowboys aren't recruiting the state of Oklahoma hard. From the Opubco studios at Britton and Broadway, I'm Mike Sherman, and this is the Bedlam Nation Conversation with OSU beat writer Andrea Cohen. Andrea, spring football is over, so the big football news, especially on the OSU front, is recruiting talk. From the looks of today's Oklahoma, it sure seems like the Cowboys are in on a lot of the top players in the state. Give us an update on that.
Scott Wright wrote today, the football beat writer wrote today a lot about all these Oklahoma guys that they're targeting. The big ones, out of Carl Albert, they've already got Dayton Lowe. They're going for apparently their whole backfield. This Trevante Porter is the guy they're going after now. And also on defense, the linebacker out of Millwood, which is Trayvon Henry. So yeah, lots of guys. They're also going back to Owasso, offensive line coach. Is going back to Owasso. They're going for Trent Spurgeon to go with Brandon Webb, a former teammate there.
Switching to baseball, the OSU Cowboys are 6-13 in the Big 12, heading into this week's Bedlam Series that starts Friday in Tulsa, Saturday and Sunday in Oklahoma City. But they're 3 games out of the final spot in the Big 12 tournament. Andrea, can they make it?
They can make it. They have not made it easy on themselves at this point. This weekend, K-State went to Stillwater, and they thought that was a really good situation to be able to make up some games. They got to get 3 wins to catch Texas Tech. They lost the first game, kind of a frustrating game. They just couldn't score runs. They got a ton of hits. They just couldn't score runs. And they played the doubleheader on Friday to get them in before the rain. And then in the second game, they finally got their bats going, got some runs on the board in the 6th inning. It was 3-2. Kansas State was leading. And then the game got called for rain. The rest of the weekend got rained out. So they got 2 losses this weekend when they really could have stood to make up some ground. So that was too bad for them. But yeah, so they got to make up 3. They got Bedlam this weekend, and then they go to Texas Tech. So the key for them is that they need Kansas State to beat Texas Tech this weekend, at least 2, and they need to make up some games, Bedlam, and then if they went to Lubbock and did well, it could happen, but it's very, very, very slim margin for error now.
With a little help from Kansas State, they win the Bedlam Series 2 out of 3, and then they win at Texas Tech. You thinking they might be in?
They could get in. I mean, they just got to catch those 3 games, and it's nice for them that it's head-to-head. The last weekend is head-to-head, kind of helps them control their own destiny in that last weekend. But they do. I mean, they really could stand. Getting some wins this weekend is really important.
Okay, finally, Andrea, let's talk about OSU's best athlete, and his name is?
German Fernandez. German Fernandez went, the Oklahoma State track team went out to Stanford. He set school record in the 5,000. Distance kid is unbelievable. He's kind of, we all joke around, you know, there's all these Heisman winners in the state, all these guys that everyone's talking about. Internationally, like in his sport, this kid is a superstar. He's a really, really big deal. He's run one of the fastest times in the mile in the world this year. Just really something special. And that's in a sport where when you're 19, you're nowhere near your peak yet. So he's just getting better. But yeah, all his stuff is kind of heating up. We've got Big 12 coming up in a couple weeks out in Lubbock. Then we got regionals in Norman, and then the NCAA championships. Look for him to do big things in all those meets.
Thanks, Andrea. That's all for the Bedlam Nation Conversation, but you can continue the conversation at the only fan site focused on both OU and OSU. That's bedlamnation.com. And then stay with the best OSU coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK, and every morning in the Oklahoma.